graders! It is time to read our solution to yesterday's story to solve and then take a look at today's story to solve. So, remember yesterday that Ape and Firefly were fighting and 100 apes came to fight Firefly, and yet in the end, Firefly was the winner. So, our solution, how it was done. Firefly simply flew from one ape's nose to the next, and when the apes tried to hit him, they kept hitting each other instead. How'd you do? Some of you guys are getting pretty good at guessing some of these solutions. Impressive. All right, so we're going to read a new story to solve today called Never Seen. Oops, never heard. In ancient times, many kings competed with riddles instead of fighting wars. After solving the riddle of the Egyptian king Nectanebo had sent him, King Lycurgus of Babylon wanted to send him a challenge in return. To make sure everything would go in his favor, King Lycurgus sent the cleverest man he knew, Aesop, storyteller and former slave. This is Aesop, like Aesop's fables. Aesop quickly outwitted King Nectanebo, but the king would not let Aesop leave. King Nectanebo hoped to disgrace Aesop and send him home in defeat, rather than with a tribute to his king. He tested Aesop with riddle after riddle, but Aesop easily solved each one. Finally, King Nectanebo came up with an impossible task for Aesop. If you can bring me something that I've never seen or heard about, the king told Aesop, I'll send you $1,000 as a tribute to your king. If you fail, you must leave and admit both your and your king's defeat. Aesop begged to have 3 days to find something so rare that the king would never have seen it or even heard of it. King Nectanebo agreed. He knew that no matter what Aesop brought or told him, all he had to do was say he'd already seen it. His advisors were ordered to say the same thing. So the decision that they made was that regardless of what Aesop brought, they were just going to say, yeah, we've already seen this. When Aesop returned, he handed King Nectanebo a small piece of paper. Just as planned, the king and his advisors all said, we've seen this before. We know all about it. You have failed. That's good, said Aesop. Now, I'll take the $1,000 for my king. No, said King Nectanebo. I've never seen this paper before. Good, said Aesop. I've passed your test and will accept the $1,000 tribute for my king. There was nothing King Nectanebo or his advisors could do or say. If the king said he had seen the paper, he had to pay King Lycurgus $1,000. If he said he had not seen the paper, he had to pay King Lycurgus $1,000. What words had Aesop written on the paper? I think some of you might be able to think of this answer, so think about it. If he said, yes, I've seen this paper before, then he had to fork over $1,000. If he said, no, I've never seen this before, then he lost and he had to fork over $1,000. So what did the paper say? I'm curious, fifth graders. If you want to share your answers with me, I'd love to hear them.